We have need of your assistance.
How much are you paying?
You will be wired $50 million if you can infiltrate this high school.
Hold on.
What is it?
I'm sorry, you said high school?
Yes?
Which high school exactly? Gotham? Metropolis? Which state is it in?
Dude, why does that matter now?
It just, I might be banned from it.
Banned? Why the hell are you banned from a high school?
Might be. I just need to know which high school.
Jump City High.
Oh, thank God.
Now please tell me it was some regular villain shit, man.
I mean, age is just a number.
Oh my God.
Criminals, right?
Not that kind, dude. Do we know if Killer Moth is normal? The only thing worse than being a Hal Jordan fan on the internet is being a Deathstroke fan. Slade has some of the coolest moments in comics with a dope origin and a phenomenal suit. All of that is meaningless, however, because he is a predator. And I don't mean the cool kind, I mean the Canadian kind. She was only 15, Slade, and you had a whole wife and kid. However, we will discuss that towards the end of the video, because I want to illuminate you all on how goated he is outside of that. Slade has continuously been a threat to not only individual members of the Justice League, but the entire league itself at some points. I mean, this guy started out struggling to beat the Teen Titans when they were in their infancy. Now you got him landing hits on a speedster. One of these days, I gotta talk about how horrible the power super speed is, because they constantly get bitched like this and it makes no sense. However, in this video, I will focus on every time Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, aka Deathstroke if you're on the internet too much, every time he embarrassed someone. Now this will only include a few moments that were top of mind for me, but I really want to do a part 2 because it's insane how far he's come. He used to struggle against Beast Boy, and here you have him dogging a near Kryptonian being, drawing blood from Colin Keenan. Now I understand this video will be rife with ludicrous plot armor, however this is an appreciation video, because at the end I'll talk about a comic that made me admire Deathstroke and how the admiration was very quickly ruined. Before we get into that, let me tell you how our goats, yes our goats, got bitched by this island owner.
Hello, Bets. Here to get revenge for your boy Wonder? No, Slade. Or is it my dealings with Hive? That's below my pay grade. Whatever the case may be, my superior strength. She was only 15, Slade.
Oh my God. Come on.
Dude, you have a son older than her.
Hey, it's legal in 38 states.
I don't give a fuck about the law. I'm a vigilante.
Whatever, man. It's not like you can stop me.
Yeah, maybe I can't, but Superman is on the way, and I do have some rare kryptonite. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck is right.
Deathstroke has always been a tough opponent to beat. A lot of times he's simply there for his job and has no interest in the glory of fighting a hero. However, in the times he does entertain a fight, you'd be surprised at how quick and ruthless he can be. Let's talk about the Bat family, probably the worst superhero family to go up against. Since every other one will beat you with minor damage, these guys will break your bones. So when one of the most competent fighters in the DC universe, Cassandra Cain, says Slade is faster, stronger, and smarter, this should give us a clue on how close he is to our Bat goat. The next thing I saw that really solidified that he's a lot stronger than people give him credit for is that on multiple occasions, more so in the Teen Titans comics, Deathstroke will absolutely embarrass Nightwing. Here you can see Slade go dick on trying to get him to fight, and he still whoops him no problem. Another time he's able to sneak up on him and just put that boot on his neck, ready to stomp him out. So not only does he scare Cass, but he definitely can whoop Nightwing. However, this next moment is crazy. Batman tries to wrestle Deathstroke and he just says, "Oh please," and throws him like a rag doll. Excuse me, how is the guy who bitched Darkseid getting tossed around like his cannon fodder? Also, what a stray to Aquaman here. Like, he wouldn't fall back from a blow like this. Do we forget how tough Arthur is? I gotta do a video on Aquaman soon because people will talk crazy about him and I hate it. However, these are flashes, moments of prowess from Deathstroke, either by surprise or trickery, or just heroes getting caught off guard. He wins. Let's look at an extended battle between Bruce and Slade. So here we have the 1991 solo series for Deathstroke, issue number 7. Slade was brought to Gotham for a job, which he turned down. However, it unfurled a conspiracy that he wants to get to the bottom of, his way. It involves the FBI, an inside man, and yes, Batman. After both of them track down their targets, Deathstroke's target being a shitty mobster named Jarrett, and Batman's target being Deathstroke, they finally meet. Now, what's important to realize is how Batman approaches the situation. He was told from Dick on how Slade is hard to read, how he saved their lives before, but is also a ruthless mercenary, how he cares about his family, but he cares even more about his reputation. Dick aptly says that Slade has a strong moral sense, but not one that is explainable. For example, we see him torture this dude in a meat locker, and only a few pages later, he saves the Santa Claus from being mugged, so Bruce thinks there's hope for them to work together. Now, after Slade breaks into Jared's high-rise penthouse, he dangles the man over the edge and is stopped by Batman. Batman commands him to put the man down. Now, this goober Jared thinks he's here to save him, but Batman just has a code. Jared says, "Stop him! He's insane! He wants to kill me! Damn it, man! Do your job! Stop him!" As if Batman is some public servant. Watch your mouth, man. Batman tells him straight up, "You sell drugs to kids. You built an empire on the bones of good men you've ruined. If anyone deserves to be splattered 50 stories down, it's you. That's what I'm talking about. Tell that bum off." However, Batman speaks to Slade next, saying, "But not this way, and not today. We'll do it legally, Wilson. Give him to me." Now, I do hate when Batman incites the law, since both of them are criminals. Really, in these moments, it should be about morality, not legality. You shouldn't kill this man because it's wrong, not because it's illegal. Slade, of course, complies in the rudest way possible, throwing the man across the room. Batman has to leave Jarrett with his goons for now, since he needs answers from Slade. So begins the chase. Batman jumps out of the window, telling Deathstroke that he's wanted by the feds and he can't leave quite yet. Slade is like, "I don't need your permission," and Batman is over this. He just wants answers. A cop is dead, you turn down the hit, and you still kidnap the man. Why? So Bruce is not here to hurt him. He's on the defense, hoping to get some info. However, this will not prove to be a fruitful encounter. Then they begin to fight. Deathstroke has his iconic staff, and Batman just using hands. Batman is pleading with him. If he's innocent, he'll help clear his name. He says, "I know you saved Nightwing's life. I know you're a good man." Which, I don't know if that's true, Bruce. They keep fighting, and so far it's pretty even. They're both taking it out. Slade is trying to explain why he needs to uncover the conspiracy before the feds take him, or else he's dead. They keep going, slamming into buildings, hitting gargoyles, with Slade's staff being lost. Finally, they lock hands, trying to overpower the other, when Batman kicks him right in the face. It's looking rough for Slade. He's taking side kicks, an uppercut, and then Batman just shoves him off the gargoyle. But then Deathstroke locks in, saying, "You're good, Batman, but you're just an ordinary man. I've been enhanced. I'm stronger, faster, and far more vicious." As we see Slade beat the fuck out of Batman. He says, "You trained yourself to fight? I trained myself to kill." Then he just keeps going. What little lead Batman had is now completely gone. Now, thank God Slade doesn't kill for fun, because after drilling in these punches, he has had enough and gets up, only for Batman, a glutton for pain, to keep fighting this futile battle. He gets one good kick in, and then gets rocked with a sidekick, hitting the bookshelf, just completely broken. Now, when I heard about this fight, I figured it would be framed like the others, that Batman would be taken by surprise, or by trickery and deceit. However, the only thing holding Batman back was him trying to get answers. Even after Deathstroke loses his main weapon, he still locks in and starts pounding Bruce like it's nothing. I'm telling you, this guy is a menace. If he can bitch Batman, he can bitch anyone. However, I know a lot of you are saying, "Well, of course he wins, it's his book. How else do you expect the story to go?" You're probably saying, "I'm sure if we go to a Batman comic featuring Deathstroke, it will be a completely different story." Especially since this story is being written by the co-creator of Deathstroke himself. Okay, I hear you. So let's do a Batman comic with a new writer. New writer, new comic. Here we have Detective Comics 710, written by Chuck Dixon. The third part to a storyline called The Death Lottery. A sick, dying old man contracts hitmen to kill some of Gotham's finest, the elite, the rich, including Bruce Wayne. However, two of these men have a history: Slade Wilson, the Terminator, and this erratic man, Hockley, also known as Gun Hawk. After Hockley shoots Lucius Fox in the shoulder, Batman becomes aware of the plot and vows to stop these men. The thing is, Slade fucking hates Gun Hawk for not only some shit he did back in the day, but also because he's ruining this job for him again. So everything is in motion. Gun Hawk causing chaos, Slade wanting revenge, and Batman trying to catch these two, starting with the more dangerous one, Deathstroke. So we begin with Batman confronting Slade, jumping from his vantage point and kicking him as they exchange pleasantries. He then gives him a backhanded strike to capitalize on a surprise attack, but Deathstroke locks in and says, "That's it. Your last free shot, Batman." basically letting him know he wasn't trying to fight him then, and as we know, he has enhanced reflexes, so he definitely could have dodged those attacks. Then we see strike after strike. Deathstroke pummels Bruce as he lets him know he isn't here for the contract anymore, he just wants Gunhawk. Next page we have Batman bleeding on the ground, no strength left to fight. Deathstroke in the story wants to kill Gunhawk because of how reckless and dangerous he is. Even though Slade is a gun for hire, he still understands that innocent bystanders should be left alone, and you should only kill who you are paid to, not for fun. Because Gunhawk's reckless behavior cost Slade back in the day, he wants to put a stop to this guy by killing him, and he chastises Batman for being a merciful man who obviously doesn't kill. We're going to skip a lot of the Gunhawk stuff because this is about Deathstroke and bats. Their next encounter happens as Slade is about to take a shot and Bruce hits him with a surprise kick. Knowing Deathstroke is not one to make a mistake twice, Batman capitalizes on the sneak attack and starts wailing on him, telling him he doesn't need another sniper in Gotham. He doesn't need someone correcting his mistakes, and he doesn't need to break his no-kill rule to hurt Slade. Even after Batman puts the beat down on Deathstroke, he has this crazy comeback. Okay, I'm hurting, so you're good, but not good enough. Just lie down like a good boy. And we see Batman slumped again after a crazy backhand. Now Deathstroke must have expected Batman to actually listen and lie down because he just sets up another shot, which Batman prevents again. Slade takes his mask off and they go at it. Batman getting the first strike, the only strike needed to put him down. Now I expected Batman to win in the end as it's his fucking book, but damn did it take him a while. All those fucking sneak attacks, and honestly, if Deathstroke were a bit more ruthless and thorough, Batman would be dead. I put this here because of how surprising it is. I expect Deathstroke to beat pretty much every street tier and unfortunately some metahumans, but Batman? Now I know there are probably plenty of times where Batman edges him out, however I just want to prove to you guys how good he is, because the next bit is going to require a little bit of plot armor and a lot of mental gymnastics. This is Deathstroke versus the Flash. Being a speedster kinda sucks. If you're up against some Saturday morning cartoon villains like the Trickster or the Weather Wizard, it should be an easy fight. However, depending on the era of comics, the writers do not think your power is that cool. The most frustrating thing about super speed is how wonky it is when it comes to reaction speed. If I can run at near light speed and not crash into buildings, then I should be able to react just as fast, since I am maneuvering around the city, dodging obstacles, punching bad guys, and saving babies. However, so often in comics, especially when they're up against Slade, speedsters suddenly lose his power and get hit. Look at Impulse blitz across the battlefield, yet Deathstroke is able to hit him. How? Unless Deathstroke has some new powers I was unaware of, this is a prime example of how speedsters make no sense. Even in more modern comics, you have Wally West, who back in the day kinda sucked, but now he is the most impressive Flash. Wally somehow gets ensnared by Deathstroke's machine and is forced to run to give it power. Now, are there points in time where Kid Flash gets a win on Deathstroke? Sure. With Slade it's difficult to tell because he will let the heroes win when he has nothing to gain. Like here we have Wallace dogging the fuck out of Deathstroke, but he doesn't fight back. So who knows how many ways he could have manhandled him here. If you want some really embarrassing moments, let's go back to the 80s and talk about our favorite Midwestern conservative, Wally West. In Deathstroke's first appearance, we are introduced to him through Hive. He rejects a mission to kill the Titans, so they go to his son, and offer him powers in exchange for his service. His son doesn't know Deathstroke is his dad, he just thinks being an assassin is cool and wants to be like him. Before the big fight, we see Wally pack up people no problem. He can knock out 3 or 4 goons before they can barely react. So you'd think this should be easy for them, especially cause Ravager, the mini-me Deathstroke, sneak attacks Cyborg and still gets packed up in one move. However, when the climax happens, Deathstroke teaches Ravager all of his plot armor bullshit and embarrasses Wally by throwing a pole at his feet. I swear to God, Wally West was so trash before Mark Waid saved him. How can he run across the country in minutes, but a pole moving 5 miles per hour is enough to put you down? The only reason the Titans win this fight is because Ravager's powers are defective and it ages him as he uses it more, finally killing him. And this is where Deathstroke's hatred of the Titans comes from, and why he is so hell-bent on destroying them. Now I know I haven't dived deep into the Judas Contract yet, and that's because I'm saving it for last, but when Tara was still undercover, Slade attacks the Titans and this interaction happens. Wally checks on Tara, making sure she's okay. He is full of rage and wants to hurt Slade. Wally then blitzes him at super speed, and Slade just says, "Something wrong, Flash? You're slower than I remembered. Hardly needed my increased reflexes to down you." While hitting Wally so hard he gets slumped. I mean, to be a speedster, and the guy's able to react to your movements at near normal human reaction speed. That is embarrassing. For all of you wondering why doesn't Wally just phase out of the sword here, Wally used to suck back in the day, and all he could do was run fast and get knocked out. Let's look at Wally closer to his prime, in the future where he takes on the mantle of the Flash and learns new tricks like phasing and tapping into the Speed Force. If you guys know Deathstroke, you know this is probably one of his most insane feats, Identity Crisis Issue 3. Now in the last issue of the series, we see how the Leaguers are all grouped up, looking for Dr. Light. It's Hawkman, Elongated Man, Green Arrow, Black Canary, the Atom, Zatanna, Green Lantern, and the Flash. This should be overkill, given that Wally fought against Dr. Light when he was a child and whooped him. However, as Ralph searches an abandoned home, he gets kicked in the face, taken out immediately by none other than Deathstroke. Dr. Light has hired help. We start in issue 3, with the fight commencing. Going into this, I imagined that more villains would come out of the woodworks, but nah, this gets embarrassing. The first page has the most disgusting Deathstroke glaze. Ollie narrates, "It's 7 against 1. In Slade's mind, that makes us about even. This guy should be fodder to half of you, but let's see what happens." Wally, as eager as he is, rushes in, and as we know, he can react at super speed. So we see how Slade detonates the explosives. Wally is easily able to maneuver them, going around. However, he isn't able to outmaneuver an unmoving sword. How? The narration says that he may not be able to outrun Wally, but he's quicker where it counts. So I guess Deathstroke is confirmed to have better reaction speed than speedsters? It doesn't make much sense, but whatever. What's even more annoying is this came out in 2004, well after Wade revitalized Wally, and he learns about the Speed Force, phasing, and everything. So how do you let Slade not only stab you when you can phase out of it, but you also let him twist the sword while it's still in you, when you can phase out of it? If you guys think this is bad, let's get to the others. He takes out one of the best magic users in comics, period, with a punch to the gut so she gets nauseous. If you know Zatanna, this is atrocious. He then cuts off Carter's wingsuit. This is probably the least BS of them all. Somehow, Ollie has an easier time dodging Slade than Wally, but Black Canary, a metahuman, gets a bag over her face to stop her from screaming, which is not how that works. You can still scream. The most insane feat here is Deathstroke takes a fucking laser pointer, and while the Atom is microscopic, he's able to figure out his location even though he's the size of a proton, and not only hit him, but hit him into Hawkman, taking them both down. This last one is the worst. I'm sorry to all the Kyle fans out there. Kyle Rayner, probably the most creative Green Lantern next to John Stewart, able to construct incredibly complex designs with his ring, decides to attack Slade with a punch. Does this writer know what the Green Lanterns do? Cause it's not this. Slade, of course, the Sigma male, crushes his hand, disregarding the power emanating from his body, and tries to take it off, until Ollie saves the day and stabs Slade in the eye. You got all of these heroes and the human is the one who saves the day? I'll take it though, I love Green Arrow. And they're still struggling with him, even with them all piling on. But whatever, man. The Flash has to be the most inconsistent hero of all time. He's either the living embodiment of speed or he's cannon fodder in a team book. Now speaking of team books, I want to tell you about what you've been waiting for. Deathstroke's worst victim. Not just Tara, but also Beast Boy. So you guys have an idea of what happens in the Teen Titans story with Deathstroke. Tara is sent undercover on a mission to infiltrate the Titans. Her and Slade have this disgusting romantic relationship. even though she's 15 and Slade is like 50, and Tara betrays the Titans, has a mental breakdown, and then destroys the battlefield, killing herself in the process. Now, what's important to know is that Tara did like the Titans at some point, especially Beast Boy. He was the one who really pushed for her to join the team and to be his friend. However, she was troubled, and Slade really exploited that. So after her death, Beast Boy wants revenge on Deathstroke, and while this moment in time is one of my favorites for Slade, it's also one of my least favorites. So this is Tales of the Teen Titans issue 55, Shades of Grey Part 3. It is one of my favorite comics from Wolfman. It starts on this great page explaining their history, how Slade once almost killed Beast Boy and then because of him, the girl he loved, Tara Markov, dies as well. So now Garfield has 2 reasons to kill him. We see how her death has impacted the Titans, fractured them. Beast Boy is rude, distant, and irritable. We see Slade in jail. He's being treated like royalty since he's a former military man, and even in a minimum security prison, he gets it a little better than anyone. We cut back and forth between Beast Boy and Slade. Beast Boy's life is crumbling, his adopted father is angry and disappointed, his girlfriend isn't allowed to see him anymore, and as Slade gives an interview to this crook journalist who's working for Brother Blood, Beast Boy freaks out because he blames him and the Titans for the deaths caused by Slade and other villains. Beast Boy gets kicked out from his house for this, smacks his dad up, and then leaves. Beast Boy keeps flying and flies all the way to the prison where Deathstroke is held, narrating how shitty his life has been because of Slade, and how badly he wants to kill him. Beast Boy turns into a tiny spider and eavesdrops as Wintergreen, Deathstroke's assistant, lets him know how they're going to beat the charges and fight the case. At night, Deathstroke hears a voice. "Wilson, wake up. You hear me, Wilson. I want to kill you." It's Beast Boy. He turns into a rhino and charges Slade, missing him entirely. Honestly, he could have just bitten him as the spider, but alright man. They keep fighting, Beast Boy breaking the door and causing a ruckus, finally turning into a tiger and destroying a steel door, letting Wilson escape, where he is caught by the Night Watch as Beast Boy escapes by turning into a fly. Now, even though Deathstroke doesn't tell the warden that it was Beast Boy, his political pull gets him freed, and we see Wintergreen pick up Deathstroke. He tells him that Logan attacked him because of the Markov affair. Slade says this disgusting line. Yeah, he had the hots for her. Damn, that little vixen was a better liar than I realized. At this point, he's gotta die, man. He continues justifying his actions, saying she used him as much as he used her, and how he wants to retire in Africa. Now here's where the moment happens. Beast Boy goes to a zoo to wind down, rethink his life, and finally sends a letter to Slade, telling him we need to finish this. Surprisingly, Slade agrees. We see both of them preparing for the moment by talking to the dead, Beast Boy visiting Tara, Deathstroke visiting his son Ravager. Then it's time. We see Slade's shadow walk amongst what looks like the Grand Canyon. Beast Boy swoops down as a vulture and is immediately pissed. No! You know I wanted to kill the Terminator. Why do you do this? I told you what I wanted. It's the damn Terminator I want to kill. This is Slade Wilson, tired of the games, being a mercenary and fighting these damned kids. He says he won't fight back. Just end it. Is this guilt, shame, or a bluff? I don't know. Beast Boy takes his offer and says he's going to kill him for Tara, swooping down as a bird, and as he gets closer and closer, he begs him to fight back, until finally he reverts to human form, dropping to the ground shouting no, that he can't kill him. Now you see, Beast Boy has killed before Madame Rouge, the woman who destroyed his found family with the Doom Patrol, and even though that was an accident, it scarred him. This opened up those scars in a way I did not see coming. Then the two talk. Slade tells Garfield that it's over. We both know it, I just realized sooner. He tells him why everything happened, about his son Ravager, how he had to kill a Titan so he could rest in peace, with his contract fulfilled. Beast Boy calls him out on how insane that is, and Slade says, let's get a coffee man, talk this out. Beast Boy hesitates, saying he's a villain, but agrees eventually. We see the waitress recognize Garfield, and back in this time period, he was going by Changeling, because he didn't like the other name for some reason. They order, and Slade says he's not a villain, he's a mercenary, a soldier for hire. Beast Boy calls him out on this, but Slade says he has a strict code of ethics. Beast Boy says, does that include corrupting 16-year-old girls like Tara Markov? Facts. Slade reminisces on how they met. Tara already had a reputation. She was a mercenary as well. They met in Chad, and more importantly, she picked up an assignment that he refused. The assignment was to kill a tribal chief. Slade again says that she used him the same way he used her. Dude, no, she is a child. Wolfman is on Fraud Watch Code Red. Slade then says the name of this ruler, Tawaba, which is the same chief that adopted Beast Boy long ago. Obviously Garfield denies it, but it's unfortunately true. Beast Boy tries to cope by saying he taught her to hate, and Slade says he has never seen anyone like her. All she felt was hate. She was corrosive. Now, to give Tara something here, she's a child out of wedlock. Her brothers are royalty and she barely is. She always felt outcasted, and because of the turbulent times she was in, Markovia being uprooted, her getting powers, and being lost in another continent, I can see how a 15-year-old girl would be emotionally and mentally unwell enough to be a ruthless soldier for hire to feel some self-worth. Slade without a doubt used and abused her, no matter what this writer says. The next page has something damning, where Slade says Tara had it out for Beast Boy because of Tawaba. Her seeing him with his found family, while she barely had one, must have stung. Garfield just cries. Slade says she isn't worth crying about. You have good friends. I'm glad my son is with you. I know you think he's a traitor, but he's a good kid. Beast Boy vents to Slade about how all his life, everyone he has cared about has been killed. When Tara died, something snapped. Even though the Titans are good for him, he doesn't know if they'll accept him after his recent behavior. He's the jokey kid, and lately he can't make any jokes because of how distraught he is. This is where I start to like Slade a bit. He gives him a pep talk saying your friends will ignore you, they're loyal. Just speak to them the same way you spoke to me. You are good, one of the better ones. Stop playing the fool. And just when I was starting to like Slade, being this emotionally intelligent villain who was able to give Beast Boy the closure he needed, Beast Boy then says one thing that ruins it all. Slade, did you ever make love to Tara? And he can't say anything, man. He just looks down and says, would that make any difference? Yes, it does! Jesus Christ, man. So not only does Beast Boy inadvertently help Slade get freed, he gets told his girlfriend never liked him, killed his adoptive father, lied to him the entire time, and he gets cucked by a 50-year-old geezer. Beast Boy, I feel bad for you, man. You guys have to understand how badly I want to like Slade, especially when he's written like this. But fuck me, this dude took a little girl, orphaned and lost, and groomed her to be an assassin. Abused her and then used her to get revenge on something the Titans didn't even do. All of this is because Ravager dies from the powers that Hive gave him, and because of that, Beast Boy gets traumatized in a million different ways, and the writers don't even let him get revenge. Now, I do think you should read all of these comics besides Identity Crisis. That one is kinda trash. But Judas Contract is phenomenal, and this issue really gave me the closure I wanted. While Slade is a horrible person, he has some of the coolest moments in comics, whooping Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, and even when someone has him on the ropes when he's about to die at the hands of Beast Boy, he pulls a Talk No Jutsu to win. This dude has killed countless people, ruined the lives of many more, and doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. Not even put on the sex offenders list, like he should. Thank you guys for watching, many thanks to my new members listed here. Special shout out to Cable, part of the original 7. I have a Batman 2025 review up my channel if you want to join, and I'm working on a few more right now. I will definitely be making a part 2 to this, but let me know what other characters you'd like to see. I want to talk about how badly the Doomglaze has gotten recently, and also I want to react to the Sigma Lord edit of Spider-Man. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me, it means a ton. Alrighty y'all, peace.